A modular platform approach for complex e-commerce challenges. And let me please start my presentation with saying the whole event was just great so far. We really want to thank Magento for doing this Imagine great conference, best I've been to in a long, long time, and as well the team, the techie guys in the back helping us to bring everything on screen. They just do an incredible job, so thank you very much for helping us out here. In Germany, there's a saying, keep the best for last. I'm not really sure if that was what Magento had in mind when putting us here, but I'm a bit fishing for compliments, and we do our best to give you a good time and to present you a bit of our learnings and what we have achieved with some customers in the past. Yeah, before starting, maybe a few words to the two speakers for you. So my name is Mark Oliver Schuller. I'm from CGI Digital Commerce. Been in e-commerce for many, many years on the side of the merchants, as well as now for 5 years doing consulting and project implementations.
Yeah, hi as well from my side. My name is Oren Gitin. I'm responsible for delivery for Magento projects. Yeah, and I'm based in Berlin, in Germany.
Yes, and as we said, the two of us, we're from CGI. In North America, few more people know CGI. In Germany, that's always a problem. Just to let you know, CGI is the 5th largest IT outsourcing company with 65,000 people in 400 offices in 40 countries. By sheer number, I think that makes us the biggest Magento systems integrator, but yeah, sure, not all of us are working in Magento project delivery. That's only a very small portion of that real company size. But still, our USP, so to say, is that we are able to do really global delivery, follow-the-sun support with local offices in many, many, many geographies. And that is just a list of clients CGI in total has. And the most e-commerce clients, really, you will find in the telecom, utilities, and retail sector, of course. But the two of us are from CGI Digital Commerce, which is the digital or part of the digital network within CGI. However you count it, we are roughly 400 to maybe 800 people, if you count testers in that do not only e-commerce but other projects as well. And we are mainly operating or delivering out of Germany, but we are bringing projects live all over the globe. So we have done work in New Zealand, Australia. We're working right now in Canada, France, Finland, and many, many geographies. And that are really actual client logos of our teams that we are, or project that we have delivered in the past, maybe 2 to 5 years. We are full service provider. Still, we were really happy to see what's going on with the Magento Cloud. That will help us a lot with really large scale implementations. And that is what we are talking about now. Let me add 2 more things before we get into the topic. First of all, the plan wasn't that the two of us are going to present. It's a customer success story. The customer should have been here, but on very short notice, he had scheduling conflicts and was not able to make it here. So we're going to take over. And that brings me to the second topic. He asked us to please not use his slides because he wanted to use them himself during, I don't know, the next Imagine or Magento Europe event, whatever. So we're telling the same story, but have redone the slides and have made it with a fictitious company you all know. But still, the story is true, and we will talk about that. You will all know what I'm talking about. Especially, our presentation is really interesting for you if you are a global organization or a really huge retailer, or you have complexity because of scale and because of many brands you have to deal with. But you will understand what I'm talking about soon. Many of our clients have one major concern that they share, that is that the cost of running the business is increasing and increasing over time. We do more than 1,000 C-level client interviews per year. We really ask our customers what is their major concerns, and that is one of the topics when we're talking to retailers and brands and manufacturers when it comes to IT or business development. And they tell us that running the business is getting more and more complex. And that is not only talking about total cost of ownership, but as well about energy, capacity, IT capacity to change. And that is what you see. The capacity to change and to adopt to new customer expectations is going slower or is going smaller and smaller as maybe revenue and budget is. But there is a lot of what we call digital homework that many organizations want to address. New customer expectations on digital user experience, on mobile, on big data, maybe on Internet of Things, whatever. But we see that the organizations have less capacity to deal with that homework. So the perfect future state to build a customer-centric digital organization would be that you're able to reduce the cost of running your IT, that you have more free capacity to change and to adopt to your new consumer or customer demands, and that will hopefully help you grow your business again in future. And guess what? A modular platform approach, a repository approach we're going to talk about can be a pretty good thing to achieve really that goal. And guess what again? We are at Imagine here. Magento can be a really good technology to achieve that. And we have proven in the past for several customers already. So I told you we're going to use a fictitious brand. Our customer who wanted to speak was a sports manufacturing company operating in many, many countries. So we tried to find something similar here. And let's assume we have a sports apparel retailer. Let's assume the brand is called Luma. And let's assume they are running a Magento online shop that has all the typical integrations with payment service providers and social, Google Analytics, and what else. And in the backend, of course, they do have the backend integrations with ERP, with PIM, and so on. And if they do have a good IT or systems integrator partner, that is being implemented with an integration layer that is decoupling front-end speed and back-end speed so that you can have a pace-layered architecture that is helping to grow your business. And as we said, Magento can do this job really, really good. There is no question about it. And so it's natural that the business is just going very good. They are growing and making a lot of money out of it. And they're making a lot of money, investing a lot of that money. And 6 years later, Luma has turned into the Luma Group. And the Luma Group is not only selling sportswear any longer, but they are doing as well sportive travel and entertainment, fitness foods and drinks, and sports equipment. And they try to market all that as well through the online channel. And you can imagine that selling sportswear is quite different as selling sportive travel and entertainment, or maybe foods and drinks, that there are specific needs of each division on how to bring that to a customer online in a really sophisticated and good way. And by the way, the Luma Group is no longer only operating in the US, but they have grown massively around the globe, being in North America, in Brazil, in many countries of Europe and Africa, India, and Asia Pacific. So some fictitious numbers that are not too fictitious. They are operating in 25 countries, having multiple currencies to work with, many different brands that really are division specific and not look the same. So really we need to have a high front-end flexibility here. We have various business models. It's not only B2C, but as well B2B business models that the company is running right now. And they have regional distribution centers, warehouses, IT systems, but still one corporate IT. So they try to find one shoe that fits all, or one size that fits all. And there's a lot of complexity coming with such a scenario. Fragmented IT, a lot of different ERP systems, SAP here, Navision there, and so on. Many integrations, different features in all of the divisions, all of the brands. You, as I said already, you want to market food differently than sportive travel. And still, they do have very, very high security and legal requirements on the table. They really want to make sure no customer data, credit card data, payment data somehow got stolen or got downloaded by hackers, whatever. So they really want to make sure not only maybe the payment is PCI compliant, but a huge part of the whole platform should be PCI compliant. And you can imagine all that can be a real governance nightmare as well. So we have seen the company growing, and for sure, for Luma, Magento, that was no question at all, just a great fit. But for Luma Group, what are we trying to do here? Do we want to have separate Magento installations per country and per brand? Or maybe do we want to try and build some kind of super enormous, gigantic platform that is trying to cover all the needs of the different geographies and brands? That is the question, and not too easy to answer. And what we have seen in real life with customers of that size and that complexity is, we were talking about cost, and cost not only meaning money, but meaning time and capacity to change, is that the cost per growing, per rollout to country, per starting new brands and business models is growing with each and every country. So the natural thinking would be, I already have 10 countries live, I just want to add the 11th country. Most of the stuff should be already in, but we have seen, that's very often not the truth, because there is so much complexity already in the platform, so many different features and partners we have integrated, and systems and governance and business models. It leads really to a problem in speed and agility, and you have many problems to run all this project at the same time. You normally want to decouple that. So what we want to achieve is that with each and every country, what is the natural idea, that you're starting on such kind of platform, the cost is going down, and that is giving you more speed and more agility, because there is already a lot of things happening on the platform, and a lot of homework is already done. And that is what Eugen is now telling you, how we have solved that for some of our clients in the past.
Well, as you might already guess from the picture, we are not alone with this kind of challenge, and to not reinvent the wheel, we looked at solutions that were already implemented by other industry leaders. And a good example is a big corporation, automotive corporation based in Germany, in Wolfsburg. Volkswagen, some time ago, introduced a strategy called Modular Querbaukasten, short MQB, in English, the Modular Transverse Matrix. And this picture actually represents this approach. Yeah? The key feature of the platform is the modularity. And this modularity helped Volkswagen to double the number of cars produced per hour from 30 to 60. That's quite impressive. And the repository itself contains a lot of standardized, ready-to-use components that can be used in cars from different brands, either unchanged or simply reconfigured. As you see on this picture, all cars that are shown here are built on this platform, and they are very similar. So they use these components from the platform, and yes, they have different design, they might have different features, brand-specific features, country-specific features, but under the hood, an Audi will have still very much in common with Seat or Skoda, because all of them are based on the platform. Yeah, coming back to e-commerce, we see that we could solve a lot of challenges Martorwa talked about previously with that kind of challenge. With the modularity, we could increase the speed of business moving forward. We could gain more agility and at the same time reduce the cost for every brand or country that wants to get on this train of e-commerce of the Luma group. Yeah. These old brands could reuse a lot of functionality built in the platform or in the repository. And the repository itself contains the Magento installations, the core, and some brand-specific modules that can be reused all across the brands. The brands could change the design, change the skin, but do some customization, do a lot of brand-specific work. But as we saw in the Volkswagen example, they will still based on the platform and have all the features that the platform can build. So simply put, the platform approach from Magento represents, or can represent a Magento module repository with a smart deployment and management system. Within only a few minutes, deploy and create new shops for different brands or for different countries. I will show in the next slide how it's exactly working. Yeah, animation. So the global platform repository itself contains actually two main components. The major one is the Magento core. It contains all the Magento-specific things, Magento installation itself, and so on. Then we have an additional repository with custom implementation for all brands, for example, ERP integration or payment modules or shipping modules. So everything which can be reused across all brands of the Luma Group. And the third component is the brand-specific repository, where we build some modules for brands with custom, and these modules can also be reused for every new brand or every new feature in the Luma Group. So, for example, if you want to build two new shops for a sportswear brand in UK and NL, we just create two configuration files where we say that the UK website should use modules A, B, and F, so the Magento core, the B module from the custom implementation repository, and the F repository from a brand-specific repository. F module from the brand-specific repository. Then we create a new website for Netherlands with, of course, the Magento core and also the F module. And as I said, so we have the possibility to deploy all of that and to construct all of that only within a few minutes. Yeah. So another example, a new shop for the travel brand, which should combine two websites in one installation. Can also have some modules from a global repository, from custom repository, and of course brand-specific features. So, and on the third example, I put also two websites with different installations for UK, German website, and one for US. So this is quite the solution is quite flexible. Yeah, a good example is actually, let's say, some front-end features like suggested search or something which is really specific to the Luma group. Yeah. So, for example, they have some kind of design feature that they reuse across all brands, and so suggested search would be a great example actually.
Okay, talking about what goals this platform approach or that repository approach helped us really to achieve. And we laid out the three main goals we had in mind, which is being a platform architecture. That means we are really set up to provide one e-commerce ecosystem, you might call it, that is able to serve various countries, brands, and business models and demands and needs out of one platform or repository approach. And that is really making CIOs happy, that he is seeing really that his investments that he's giving free, that he's signing off, will not only be used in one brand or country, but that it can be reused multiple times per installation. At the same time, that is important not only for us, but for the customers as well, talking about technical baseline, We are really close to Magento standard, to out-of-the-box feature set. We really have a clean solution. We try to separate whatever is possible and decouple wherever we can so that a Magento core upgrade or patch installation can easily be done without affecting too much of the brand-specific or custom code repository elements. And having in mind that we are running the brands and the countries not out of one big platform, but that we have multiple installations, maybe in a cloud environment or maybe running on virtual infrastructure, we can as well roll out such kind of updates and upgrades step by step and do not need to have a big installation or a big rollout at once. And talking about feature set, having the repository approach in mind, we really make sure that all of the state-of-the-art features that have been implemented, I don't know, new customer-facing, geeky kind of responsiveness in the front end or new feature sets, that we have that implemented in kind of a repository mode so that we can really use it for multiple brands and countries again. So the checklist, so to say, that we are given very often by CIOs is to fulfill many of these needs. And as you can imagine, we are totally scalable as we are only having deployment scripts that are then provisioning service in what kind of environment ever. We have a really flexible configuration and deployments that is leading to a very stable environment as we are decoupling a lot, having a pace layered architecture. We don't mind if the ERP system has an outage for some time or if any other of the backend systems is gone for some time, because Magento will still be able to run on its own for quite some time. We have really lean installations that is giving us, that is reducing business risk and is giving us the freedom to separate operations and support for this whole e-commerce ecosystem. And probably the most interesting slide for you then, talking about what it really brings to the table to implement in such kind of repository approach, is talking about cost. And not giving total numbers here, but because that is really client individual, more a generic answer to that is that we have found out in real life that such kind of architecture or approach can save you roughly 2/3 of the cost, because all the basic setup and front-end integration and feature set, that has already been covered by the platform, and you need several minutes only to have that deployed to a new country and brand. 1/3 is still left, of course, because you have brand-specific or business model-specific features you want to implement, and you might have specific integrations as well, again, to, I don't know, sell travel packages or to sell foods and drinks. And to round up here and close the storytelling that we just started with our presentation, modular repository can lead to inner peace. And the key takeaways you can take with you if you like is Magento is really just a great platform, and during Imagine I think that is just fair to say, and to say it more often. And such a modular repository approach is really just a great way to establish a maintainable, scalable, long-term, long-lasting, successful e-commerce platform for really global brands that have quite a complex e-commerce challenge. And it looks like the yoga business is doing really well in the future, so if you have money left, spend it there. So, thank you very much.